Okay, I see that we're now streaming live.
1 minute.
Oh,
Okay, this meeting is now live to the public.
okay. All righty, welcome. This is the TAB meeting for May. We'll call it to order now. Rather than do a roll call, we can see all the pictures on the screen, but for the sake of Bonnie, are you going to be our secretary for the day? You are the best secretary. I can't help but tell you that your minutes are the best minutes I've ever read, and I'm not just saying that.
I agree.
And
They were great.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that to keep you doing it, but they are good, very good minutes. So anyway, so for Bonnie's sake, I'm here. Lori's here. Bob Glassman, Greg from Visit Hartford, Jeff Andrews, Bill Watson, Stephanie from McGregor's, and Kathy Keene. And we may have somebody calling later. We'll see, but that's who's here.
Councilman Martin is entering the meeting.
Okay, good. So we'll just wait a second while he comes on board.
He's waiting for his drum roll.
Let me see if I can get on the stereo real quick.
Dave, Dave, can you join, Councilman Martin, can you join video?
Yeah, in a second, Adam.
There you are. Okay.
Hello, Councilman Martin. Okay, so we'll begin the meeting. First order of business is to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Hopefully everybody read them thoroughly. And does anybody move to approve them or have any changes? Or
I moved to approve them.
okay, second. Second from Bill Watson. And so we'll vote all in favor of approving the minutes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? I guess I should check that. Okay, no, they're approved. We'll move on to the chairperson's report. Back to the fun and games. We need nominations for sector vacancies. I don't know. Lori's kind of the organizer of these efforts to get new members. So
Yes.
we have first off, Lori, do we have anybody lined up for any of the positions?
So I talked to Joanne, and unfortunately this meeting time she has a conflict with, so she can't do it. Joanne is from the Lock House. The Lighthouse has a brand new director, and then that's Sarah Andrews, I believe. The Decoy does not have a director yet, and let's see, who am I forgetting? Lighthouse, Decoy, and Maritime doesn't have a director that would really be a good fit. So I talked to Joanne. She's going to start up the monthly museum meetings. The museum reps are going to meet the first time in June, just them, and then they're going to open up to a bigger meeting. Typically, Greg has attended in the past, and I've gone to some. So I think they want to just kind of get started and then invite us. So I think until we have a more established representative, it might be hard to have them come on right away. So hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll have a museum rep. As far as a store rep, I went and talked to Blue Heron at your suggestion, Jim. She seemed interested, but she has not gotten back with me with an answer. So if they do not want to participate, then my next one was going to Brookbend. So we'll follow up with them. And I think that's our only 2 vacancies. Is that correct?
I think that is correct.
Okay. So I will let you know as that progresses.
Great. And the next item is, this is the month we were supposed to elect officers by way of the bylaws or the city ordinance that creates this group. So we talked about this last meeting and nobody really seemed to want to step forward for any of the positions. So I'm going to just throw it out there. For president, I'm happy to do it if you all want me. If somebody else would like the job, that's fine too. So, so is there anybody that would like to head the organization, be the chairperson? Okay, so
Crickets.
yeah. Okay, so we can, I guess we can vote on chairperson. All in favor of me? Raise your hand or whatever.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So, so that was a unanimous vote. Except for me, I didn't vote, but anyway, for vice president, now I promised the president that I will make it so that if you're vice president, you will probably have almost nothing to do except learn from as I conduct the meeting. So I think that somebody should just raise their hand for this so we can move on. So,
Steph, are you interested?
What did Kathy agree to?
I can do that. I can do that.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Don't mean to put you on the spot or anything.
No problem.
Jeff, you had a question?
Didn't Kathy volunteer for something at the last meeting?
There was a motion at the last meeting on that position.
Yeah.
Kathy,
Not to steal Stephanie's fire, but
Kathy Keene or Kathy Vincenti?
Kathy Vincenti, I thought. I remember hearing the words, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll do it."
well,
I'm looking through.
well, I
Yeah,
guess,
Kathy, here it is in the last minutes. Kathy Vincenti agrees to vice chair.
okay. Stephanie, sorry. Yes,
It's okay.
Unseated. Sorry.
sorry. Thank you, Jeff, for catching that. So we'll have Kathy as the vice chair, and we need a secretary that, because we probably are going to start meeting in person, and Bonnie unfortunately has a hard time coming into town for a meeting, being she lives in southwestern Virginia. So we really need a secretary that actually lives within attending the meeting distance. So
Jim, not to interrupt, but should we take a vote on Kathy?
okay, yeah, let's do that. All in favor of Kathy Vincenti for vice chair?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. So she didn't have a chance to defend herself in case she changed her mind, but that's what happens when you don't come to the meeting, I guess. So so anyway, off to secretary. So once again, is there anybody that would do this just, for the year? And I bet if you ask Bonnie, she could give you some tips on how to take excellent minutes. So if you really needed the help. And I see Jeff has disappeared altogether, which is a clever way for us to quickly nominate him while he's not and tell him that he became the secretary.
That won't work.
We tried. Nobody wants that job. Stephanie, I know we kind of let you down on vice president, but would you mind taking the minutes?
I'm not really great at doing that. I have to be honest. It's not really my forte. Because as I'm listening to things, I'm expanding, and so I'm not really good at. Yeah,
I understand, but
my handwriting's awful too.
well, basically, when the minutes don't have to be as fabulous and detailed as what we get from Bonnie. That would be one thing to say.
Can I record them and send them to Bonnie? Is that legit? Because she would need to know everything that happened anyway.
That's fine with me.
I can type for anybody, but I think you have to have somebody hold the space, right?
You would still have a vacancy in that office.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have to settle for a vacancy and let Bonnie keep doing it in a roundabout way.
Okay, and just for clarification, if you do record that, we do need to post that. That becomes a matter of public record, those recordings.
Post the recording.
Mm-hmm. But the recording will not serve as minutes.
Well,
Or we could have you, we could just phone you in, Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
And just pass the phone as people are talking, if we're in person.
Well, isn't this
Again, I can type for anybody that wants to hold the
I'll do it.
position.
I'll do it.
Definitely.
I'll do it.
thank you so
You can
much.
take the minutes, I can
Absolutely. Yeah.
type them.
We'll figure it out.
I guess the race is between Jeff Andrews and Stephanie Mack for the position.
How did I get in this? Wait a minute.
Disappeared from the screen. So anyway, all in favor of Stephanie, raise your hand.
Thank you, Stephanie and Bonnie.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's out of the way.
That was painful.
I've had even root canals. So, but anyway, another thing I wanted to talk about is the returning to in-person meetings. I know some people are very comfortable and happy doing it this way, but is the city going to continue allowing us to meet by Zoom off into the future, or was this just something temporary for the pandemic?
So we would like to actually continue live streaming these meetings, but this method we're currently exercising was temporary because of the pandemic. But if you guys prefer to meet in this manner, we can accommodate you.
Okay.
The other alternative would be in the city hall chambers.
Right. So what do you all think about that? Are you happy with this meetings?
I have a question. Those of you that have been around for a while, remember that we used to meet down here in the regatta room. Is that not an option now? Because
That's not an option currently.
okay.
We're trying to keep everyone on the campus right now just because of seeing where everything goes.
I thought if it was a public space, we could. If it was open to the public.
So right now, under our COVID policies, we're still telling people they're either going to meet in the police department or on the dais or virtually.
But when that gets changed, then can we do that? I only offer it because it seemed to work so well for a bunch of years.
I'll run that. I can run that through the administration. I'll give you guys an answer on that.
Yeah, I mean, I realize that now there are certain rules in place, but I just mean later when we start doing this. And it doesn't matter to me. It's very convenient because I can fall down the steps and I'm right at the meeting. But I usually end up being late anyway. But it is a nice waterfront venue that we can meet in.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so I think we'd all love to go back to the waterfront venue, but in the meantime, do we want to continue doing Zoom, or do you want to switch to meeting at City Hall? I'm open for suggestions. I'm happy either way. So
Should we vote?
I'd like to do what? Well, is there any discussion first? Does anybody has anything they want to say? Kathy?
I think I prefer the Zoom meetings until we can go back to the regatta room in the future.
Okay.
Personally, I prefer the Zoom meetings or the regatta room.
Okay. And I see Bob's head nodding in agreement. So, okay. So anybody else have anything they'd like to say about this? I would think for Greg, it'd be a little easier too than having to make it down to Harry Grace.
Well, yeah, selfishly, the Zoom meeting works very well for me because it doesn't really matter where I am. I mean, if I'm out of town, if I'm, working somewhere else, it all works. And it also works for Bonnie if we continue Zoom until we can get back to the regatta room. So yeah, I would say Zoom. And believe me, I'm a people person. I love being around people, but for these meetings, it might be best to just continue. That's just me.
Okay. Well, then,
Everyone's gotten very comfortable with Zoom. It's just easy.
Well, and doesn't it make it easier for the city to stream things if it's Zoom?
Yes. Yeah. So when you go back to meeting in person, it will not be live streamed. So this is the most public friendly way of doing this.
Uh-huh. There's not a requirement that we live stream. We just have to post the minutes.
That's correct. Now, technically, to be honest with you, if you live stream like we're doing now in archive, you don't actually need minutes, but we still do require it just to keep consistency.
okay. So, we'll I guess we'll call it to a vote. Who would like to continue Zooming? Raise your hand. Well, that's pretty large number. So, and who would rather meet in person? Bill's Hedge votes for meeting in person, and that's it. So, okay, we will continue Zoom meetings then until we're allowed to go back to the regatta room.
And I'll provide clarification for that for you, Mr. Chair.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so now we're down into the meat of the meeting, really, the reports. So starting off is the Harvard Grace Tourism Office. Lori?
Okay. So I wanted to let you know, Adam, can I share screen? Is that possible?
Give me a minute.
Not I can hold pictures up. I've never done it before, so I have no idea how.
All right, hold on.
I have a PowerPoint that Patrick put together on the trolley. I wanted to show you guys because then it's a picture of the trolley and might answer some of your questions. But
All right.
I've never shared before. Unless you have that PowerPoint, you could share it from there.
I have it. I don't know where it is. I've had it about a month ago. So if you just hit the share button, centered the bottom, and go to the center of the screen.
Okay.
Click that.
Okay.
And does it prompt you to?
Yes, I see it. That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and click that.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh, that's great, Bonnie.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what you can see. Okay. So this is the PowerPoint. I'll just scroll through the slides here. It's the Harvard Grace trolley, initial scope and operation, electric trolley effectively transport pedestrians around the city. The electric trolley will economic to operate approximately 0.01 cents per mile. That's pretty cool. The electric trolley will reduce traffic congestion in downtown areas, especially during events. I mean, it'll be huge for First Fridays. You can pretty much park anywhere at any of the parking lots throughout the city and trolley into the event. It's very good for the environment, leaves no carbon footprint. Whoops, did I just get out of it? Oh, shoot. All right, okay, sorry. Trolleys will operate right now. They're saying Friday, Saturday, and Sunday during special events. That's all on a trial basis. We'll see what happens and how much it's needed. 4 trolleys will be the initial fleet. 2 will be running while 2 are charging and vice versa. It gives them time to charge up. I think it's like a 3-hour charge period, that they last 3 hours. The drivers of the trolley would be part-time city employees. It will operate April through November, and of course, that's weather permitting. If we have a really warm November or a warm March, I'm sure they'll start it up sooner. That is a picture of the trolley. So you see the bottom and the top. Adam, I'm not sure. Are we getting sides at all? Is that it?
I don't believe we are.
Yeah, I don't think we are. I didn't.
These are
think we
seasonal.
were. Yeah. So,
All right. On the one side, open to the road, will have sides on it so no one can exit into the traffic. The side for the curbside will be the open, so
okay.
you can get on and off. We don't want anybody exiting into the roadway.
Perfect. That makes sense. And then the up at the top, this will be paid advertising that will help reduce some of the cost of running the trolley and buying the trolley. So start thinking about that. We'll advertise that when we get that all figured out. There's some more pictures. It's a 15-passenger trolley. And then if I scroll down, if I'm going too fast, let me know. This is kind of the route that has been decided. Again, everything is tentative until we see how things run, but this is the plan. So if you look, it really does hit all of the parking lots, the Water Street, Juniata Street, Park and Ride, down by the marina. So it'll actually go down, I believe, and circle around the Promenade Grill and then come back up. So it'll go by the marina for you, Jeff. So it really does hit all the prime spots for parking and for events.
Are there stops noted on there somewhere? It's kind of small looking at a laptop.
No, I don't think they have. I don't think they have stops. So this might explain a little more. Let's scroll down.
Okay.
The route is approximately 3.52 miles in length. There are 8 primary spots. And again, all this is subject to change. I think they have the logo or the logo for the trolley figured out. I don't know that I don't think that's on here, but they haven't figured out a name. And then once they do that, that logo will signify this is the trolley, and that'll be on all the stops. It'll make one complete loop in 15 minutes. Trolley fully charged can operate 50 miles. And there you go, 14 round trips. It's pretty much self-explanatory. The hours, Friday, 5 to 10, Saturday, all day, 11 to 10, Sundays, 12 to 7. And of course, that will be adjusted depending on if an event's going on in town, or if we find people are here Friday afternoon, we need to start it sooner. So again, this is the initial start, but all this can change. The cost is going to be $1 per day per passenger. I know Adam, me, and Patrick were in a meeting one time figuring out how to make that work. We talked about wristbands. We talked about a stamp just for the on-off. You know, you get off, you get back on. How do you prove that you've already paid? So that's what it is right now. If you have any questions, maybe Adam and I could answer it. This was, again, Patrick's PowerPoint that he shared. Yes, David, go ahead.
Okay, some additional information. The city is looking at selling tickets in advance so that if you're coming from out of town, you'll be able to present a pass to get on. They're looking at multicolored bands so that each day would have a different color wristband. The drivers will be collecting, but they're trying, that's why we're looking at being able to have the wristbands in pre-buy. So if you're coming from out of town or you just want to buy before you come down to event. So we're working on that process as well.
Jeff, go ahead.
Am I unmuted? Yes. Okay. A couple questions. One, do we know where the stops are, and can someone flag it down if they're not at a stop? I'm guessing no on flagging it down.
I'm from what I understand, and Dave and Adam, please correct me if I'm wrong, you can get off anywhere you want, but you will get on at the stops. Is that correct?
Depending on traffic, if you decide you want to get off somewhere and it can be safely executed, the driver will stop to allow people to exit. But again, it's depending on traffic and safety. The stops are where you're going to be able to get on it. They're really not set up yet to have people step out from cars and be flagged down. They don't want to create that issue.
Sure, that makes sense. Do
Do we
we have a list of the 8 stops somewhere?
We do. It's still tentative. Patrick has it. They're evaluating it. Once we start with the initial stops, you're going to see, we're going to modify it as necessary to meet. I know the marinas are supposed to be one of the stops. A couple of the museums, the shopping district, the school parking lot, those are, so I mean, it's still up in the air because the school parking lot isn't available to us yet. It will be, but so again, everything is still fluid. It has been somewhat determined, but it's still being modified as we go. You can reach out to Patrick if you have a question about a stop or a stop you think that needs to be added that may not be there.
It looks like on the drawing, looks like there's handwritten circles around at certain spots that are probably the stops that on the bottom map. Like I said, it's small for me on my laptop, but
Is there any way to make
probably
it?
something in there.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that. Yeah, see that those are probably the stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, so that looks like the stops there then that are marked. Okay. And my last question is, do the drivers have to have CDLs, commercial driver's license, or anything like that?
It is a standard driver's license.
Regular
Regular driver's license. Okay.
That's why they went with 15 passenger. It meets Maryland requirements. Above that, they would have to have a CDL.
Right. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Lori,
Yes.
since people may or may not park at those parking lots, they may be downtown shopping. Any thought being given to either merchants selling some type of pass or wristband for people to use the trolley, or can a patron show a receipt that they bought something at one of the stores and be able to use the trolley for the day? Any thoughts being given to something like that?
I know we talked about selling passes at the visitor center, but I can certainly bring that up about the businesses, or that's a great point, buying something would give you a pass onto the trolley. I will certainly bring those up, but no, I have not heard. Besides selling stuff at the visitor center, I haven't heard anything about the store selling.
You can buy your pass, if I believe I'm correct here, right from the trolley driver. Correct?
I think we talked about that, but then we were talking about not having the cash. Again, that's all stuff that's being worked out, which as far as when these are coming, right now, Patrick's saying the last week in June, first week in July is what it's slated. Of course, everybody knows how production is going. So we're hoping for that, but that's not a guarantee. So it's all being talked about. And that's great points, Greg. I'll definitely bring those up.
The answer to the driver, we're trying to see if we can find ways, because if the driver has to swipe a card or give change and distribute the wristbands, it's going to slow down the ability of the driver to quickly load people and offload them. So they are looking at alternatives. So the answers and the suggestions you have given so far today will definitely be passed on to Patrick. Again, is to try to make this route as efficient as possible as well.
I'd like to add, I think Greg brings up a good point. I mean, obviously, if you're taking all these suggestions, I think expanding upon what he's saying, if maybe there's certain merchants that can purchase a batch of passes in advance and give them out to certain customers or whatever, that would help alleviate the problem of the driver have to engage the passengers if they're already presenting a pass. Just an idea.
Very good idea. Any other questions or comments? Again, this is all a work in progress, so your comments and suggestions are very much appreciated. Right, and I have no idea how to stop sharing. Let's try.
I think I can cut you off. Let me see.
Oh, I did it. I did it. Oh man. So proud of myself. So I'm sure Bill Watson can agree with me. We're nearing the end of the destination guide. We had a photo shoot, it was a lot of fun. Stephanie was a star. The pictures turned out great, and I know Stephanie hasn't seen them yet. It'll be a surprise. But that was for some of the photos that were needed for the destination guide. Just a couple things to finalize, and then it should be able to go to print. So fingers crossed that will happen soon. The city, if anyone has not heard, has some personnel changes. Erica Quisenberry is our Director of Economic Development. She is leaving. Her husband received a job opportunity and requires a move. So her last day will be on May 28th. Major General Randy Taylor will be joining the mayor's senior staff. He will be the special advisor and consultant to the mayor. He is to begin mid-July. Patrick Seipold will be transitioning from Director of Administration to Director of Capital Projects. I'm sure you've all heard about the $11.2 million the city is going to receive, and it's a lot of money to manage. So Patrick will be on top of that, what it can be used for and how the city can best use it. And then Steve Gamatoria will be transitioning from Chief of Staff to Director of Administration. Patrick and Steve's positions, I believe, begin on June 1st. Me. Go ahead. You're muted, Bill.
Laura, I'm sorry, I missed the first one with the special assistant to the major. I didn't hear to the mayor. What was the name?
It's Major General Randy Taylor. He was at APG.
Oh, okay.
Randy Taylor and Lucas. First Fridays, of course, was canceled in May, which we had a lot of disappointed people, but certainly understood when you cancel something like that, then you start praying for rain. And at 5 o'clock, I was like, whew. And it was miserable. But we had the Pride of Baltimore here, Pride 2, and it was really cool how many people came out for that. Despite the weather, we had quite a great crowd to welcome them. And then as well throughout the weekend, I stopped down several times and they had a crowd the whole time. I've received several emails saying how happy they were with the way, with the crowds, as well as the way people treated them, city, as well as visitors. They were very happy here. So they do want to come back. We're hoping that maybe it will coincide with the Waterfront Festival of 2022. But it was a great spot for them, and they're happy. That unfortunately we couldn't tour it COVID wise. I don't know if you all know, but they actually live on the boat. They have a chef, there are beds, and so it's just not a good thing to be touring it during this COVID time. But hopefully when they return next year, that will happen. I'm just going on, just stop me whenever you need to. So in our destination guide last year, and it might have been 2 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, we put dog prints on the dog-friendly restaurants 2 years ago. Okay. And some of the businesses voiced their opinion that they wanted to be known as dog-friendly as well. So Bonnie emailed them all to find out who was dog-friendly, which we had a lot of response. So those dog prints will be added to the destination guide, as well as we're going to get some window clings made up saying that it is a dog-friendly business that they can put on their front windows to welcome those with dogs or animals. I know that'll help with the marina people who travel with their dogs and are limited to where they can go to with them. So the merchants were pretty excited about that.
Lori, about the dog thing, did you mark the bed and breakfast?
Yeah, I believe we do have those marked too as well, don't we, Bonnie and Bill? I know Spencer Silvers was one of them.
Right.
Spencer Silver said yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Vandiver was, but I haven't heard about whether they're continuing that. I mean, I don't know if they've been contacted, but in the past they were, but I didn't get the that they were dog fighting.
Yeah, Bonnie contacted everybody. Everybody had the chance to respond. And if they,
I don't know that they did, but everybody.
If they missed the guide, I will actually walk to each business and offer them a cling. They'll at least have the cling on their window, and then we can add them in the future if they miss this time around. And then I see you put some stuff down. Unfortunately, I really don't know a whole lot about the diabetes walk. at Tidings Park, but Jim did put that down. I do know about the Jazz and Blues Fest. That is happening on June 4th and 5th. Bill, I don't want to take your, go ahead. Okay, so June 4th is a free stage that will be at Lower Pennington, and that is actually during First Fridays, which is on June 4th. There's several bands that will be performing throughout the night. There will not be a beer garden there. It's really just the free stage as part of First Fridays. Down at Concord Point Park, that is where the paid concerts will be. The first one will be on June 4th, and then there are 3 on June 5th throughout the day. Each concert is an individual ticketed price. It will be fenced in, and if you're familiar with the black fencing that the Maslins used to use for the Chesapeake or the Seafood Festival, that's what will go up around the tent. So obviously you'll be able to hear it, but you won't be able to see anything unless you buy a ticket. There will be a beer garden that will be included within that fenced area. There will be a couple food trucks down there. So that is on June 5th. Let's see. The Pride Fest, you have that the application was going to council. I don't see any problem with that being approved, but of course it's not approved until it's approved. Farmers Market, if anyone's been down there, it's been very successful, very busy. It has been spread out throughout the park. They're using a tent as well as a setup similar to last year's, where they're spread out a little more, and it seems to be very successful. That is actually running, and Jim has it down until December 18th. They're extending it an extra month this year. And I already did the trolley update. So I think that's all I have, unless anyone has, yes, Jeff.
The Jazz Festival doesn't include Sunday this year?
No.
Okay.
It's Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
And there are quite a few jazz. Unfortunately, I'm not a jazz person, but apparently a lot of the jazz festivals across Maryland have been canceled. So we're hoping that helps us with our jazz festival. Of course, they're doing the geo-targeting and trying to hit everyone that would have gone to those concerts, and hopefully they come here instead. Yes, Steve.
They're still looking for 40 volunteer time slots to be filled on the 5th. So I forget how many they have, but there's still 40 slots left open. They're 2-hour slots. So if you know anybody that wants to volunteer, please have them reach out. They can talk to Debbie. She's in charge of the volunteers. And if you need an email or a phone number, I can give it to everybody.
Yeah, Debbie, Dave's wife, has done a phenomenal job rounding up volunteers and advertising. And I think it was like 150 spaces that needed to be filled. So quite a few have been filled, but she still needs some more. Anybody else have any questions, or Bonnie, anything that needs to be added that I'm forgetting tourism wise? Okay, I'm done, Jim.
Okay, thank you so much, Lori. And we'll move on to the sector reports. First on the list.
One quick one before you move on. You've got the Ernest Burke event coming up as well at Tidings Park.
That'll be held on June 26th at 1 p.m.
Thanks.
Thank you for that, Dave.
It might be worth noting too that the bond bills the city put in the last session of the General Assembly are going for the auditorium, or going before the Board of Public Works today, and we believe they'll be approved.
Good news there, hopefully. Okay, so now we'll move on to the restaurant report with Stephanie.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. So the restaurants have been crazy busy. I mean, it's good. It's very good. Crazy busy, but also short-staffed. I'm sure you see it all over the place. It's real. A lot of us are short-staffed, but good thing is most of our kids are coming back from college soon, so that should be alleviated then. When I say that we're busy, it's the outdoor areas and the outdoor restaurants that are very busy. if you were to stop at some of the other ones who, they don't necessarily have the outdoor seating, most of their outdoor seating areas are being heavily utilized right now. They just recently found out on Monday that all of the barricades, or the Jersey walls are being taken up from Creole as well as River City and as well as the Vineyard too. These areas are very critical for them. And to have less than a week notice is, it's tough. I've been reaching out to them. I had a restaurant meeting on Monday and they're upset. I mean, that's really their livelihood right now. And I visited other towns. Chesapeake City is still keeping them up. So I wish, we could figure out a way to, help them too, because really, I mean, especially Creole, I mean, they live for that outdoor area. But just something that I've been talking to them about and just, wanted to mention here just to kind of, plan it. And so everyone can kind of hear that this is something that they're getting ready to happen on Monday. So we have until Monday for something with them.
Well, who made that decision, Stephanie?
Honestly, I'm assuming that it was a city decision. I'm not too sure. I only found out, they weren't even notified. They found out because one of the workers was by mentioning that he was picking them up soon. This is River City. They mentioned to me. So I kind of dug around and called Laurie, who's my go-to all the time. And, she really found out what was going on. And then they received an email later in the day.
Well, has anybody talked to the city? Because I know our city really supports all of this.
Oh, no, absolutely. So this all happened on Monday. Okay. And I was home yesterday, and as you can see, I'm home today. And I wanted to mention it here. I had talked to Laurie, also, like I said, on Monday. And then I reached out to the restaurants again yesterday just to see where they are with it.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's not. I feel bad. They bought a lot of furniture and things.
So do I. I feel very bad for them.
Plus reservations outstanding and things like that. It's not much of a heads up. But
it's like they just back out there not that long ago. I wonder why they would change.
Yeah.
Weren't they put in as a stopgap because restaurants couldn't do 100% and now they can do 100% capacity? That's the logic behind it anyway.
Yeah, that is. But in theory, a lot of people still are feeling more comfortable outside, even with the vaccination rate increasing.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
I have a question. Maybe Dave, this is a big question for you. Is there any type of state law or something like that that would prevent those outdoor sections from becoming at least extended or a little more permanent?
There's two issues to that. One of the problems you're talking about is the restaurants and the outdoor seating in the roadway. The second is all the shops that are losing the parking spaces in front of them. So it's a double-edged sword when you're applying everything to trying to support the restaurants. You're then penalizing the shops in the area of the restaurants when they don't have people that can park in front of them. So I wasn't part of that decision, so I can look into it and find out more. But we got to be careful what we ask for, especially since the state is now opening the restaurants, because if more people are coming downtown, everybody knows how hard it is to park downtown, and we've taken away parking spots in front of a lot of stores.
Aren't the parking spots in front of restaurants?
No, they're not just in front of the restaurants. They're in front of some of the stores. And like I said, I wasn't part of it, so I'd have to go down and I don't know if it was DPW that's doing it, if it came from the mayor's office. So I can follow up and I can get back to everyone on it. Unless Lori or Adam know more.
I do not. I know exactly what Stephanie said. She called me. And Greg, in Hartford County, are they leaving Jersey barriers up anywhere else that you know of, or?
My understanding is that they have not made a decision to take anything out. So my guess is, as far as I know, they're leaving them up for now. And certainly in Bel Air, they still are allowing the tables on the sidewalks that they didn't allow before. And, Black Eyed Susie's put up a big tent and has just redecorated, and they took up a majority of that parking lot there. So I believe that is staying. I would hope that there was some consideration given to reservations that may have been taken, because, that may have given them a little extra seating, and now, are they going to have to cancel reservations because I can't get everybody inside with those reservations that were given? So, a week's notice, if that's what it was, is a little short.
I'm sure Dave will take it from here, Steph, and see what he can find out for you.
I really appreciate it. I feel really bad for them. I really do. I mean, that's like part of their lifeline right now. Like I said, most of the ones on the water or with outdoor seating, Coakley's, me, Tidewater, we're getting like smashed every day. I mean, it's busy. Without them having those extended seating areas, it makes the situation so much worse for all the restaurants. I know that sounds crazy. People would be like, oh, what are you talking? Don't you want all of it? No, I don't. You gotta spread it out in order to do it well. So I'm hoping that they can keep those spaces too.
Do you find that your deck fills up before your indoor seating?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Most of the time when people come up, that's the first thing they say is deck. They're like, oh, well, I do have indoor, and they're kind of like, have to contemplate it. Sometimes they're like, well, we'll check around, but everyone's in the same boat. Everyone, it's just the outdoor spaces are just getting filled right away.
Are you still doing the stuff at the seaplane base?
No, I don't have staff to do that. I wish.
That's quite a haul to take food over there, I guess. I was wondering all last summer, but boy, it sure seemed packed.
Yeah, the manpower was unbelievable, and we had quite a staff. And if you were to look, most of my staff were younger kids.
Right.
A young team. And once my college kids come back, we can start doing other things. But Seaplane is now continuing with weddings, and now, without having something consistent on a weekly basis, it's hard to run it up like a restaurant, more or less, if it's just periodic days here and there. So that's one of the first things that the restaurants are really fresh on our minds and talking about. I started to organize a monthly meeting with the restaurants. I kind of just threw it out there, and I was really happy with the response that I got. We had a Zoom call. I had Tidewater on the line. I also had River City, and then I also had the American Legion there. I spoke previously to Chelsea at Coakley, so she didn't, she already knew what was going on, as well as Creole too. But it was nice because I was able to really capture a lot of the restaurants, and we decided, a monthly meeting is great. It's great to kind of see, what we're all going through, and how we can work together and kind of just like making it, a better experience for everyone that comes to town. So one of the things the restaurants are working on is a first annual Havity Grace Putt-Putt Pub Crawl. And that's going to be held on June 26th at 1 p.m. I know that's the same day as the statue commemoration, but it's going to be just strictly downtown. This is going to sponsor the Havity Grace Music Boosters, who absolutely, have no funding right now. So we feel really good about that. The way that it's going to work, the participating restaurants are going to have the greens, and it's going to be the greens that we use on First Friday. We're going to decorate them. It's going to be teams of 4, and they're just going to go around to each location, try to get a hole in one, and we'll have prizes. We're going to have raffle tickets. Again, this is all for the music boosters in town. And right now I have all restaurants committed to it. So it's going to be a nice turnout. So I'm really excited for that. The brewery's open. I don't know if you had a chance to go down there, but it's really cool. Super nice owners. They came down and met with me last week. I really like them a lot. And they are looking to expand outdoor as well. They just need to do some improvements out back. But once they get the improvements out back, then they're going to be expanding out there. I think that's all that I have for the restaurants right now. I haven't had the opportunity to speak to the new burger, Abbey Burger yet, but everyone else is busy, and we're having some issues with, getting supplies and things like that. It's a really unusual time right now for the restaurants. We do have the volume of customers, definitely. I think that what Havre de Grace has done is remarkable as far as the amount of foot traffic we get. I mean, it was hailing last Saturday and I had a wait list. I mean, that's unheard of. But in the same breath, we're also facing shortages on products as well as pricing with, crab meat, chicken wings, all these items. And it's starting to create an issue with, shortages of food as well as menu pricing, where we're going to have to start doing some increases that we haven't had to do in a very long time. So that's just part of the struggle, but hey, you have business again. So it's like, you're going both ways with it. But so that's pretty much, I think, everything that the restaurants are going through. If you have any questions ask me. I pretty much, I try to reach out to everyone.
I have a question, Stephanie. What about Vintage Cafe? Are they part of the restaurant group? I hardly ever hear you mention them.
Vintage Cafe, I don't really talk to as much. I mean, I send emails out all the time. And I kind of throw them out there and I don't necessarily always get a response. And then there's some people where I chase them down. Vintage Cafe, they're open early in the morning. So for the putt-putt pub crawl, for example, I wasn't necessarily chasing them down. So once I got the people for the putt-putt pub crawl, I was like, hey, let's have a meeting, a big meeting. Let's actually all get together. And Vintage Cafe was, of course, a part of that. George, I love George from Vintage Cafe. I just need to kind of circle back and talk to him too. I know
I was just wondering because I don't usually hear you mention that.
They were closed. They were closed for a little bit, and then they opened back up, and then they had shorter hours. But I do know that they are extending those hours. So I mean, thank you for reminding me. I should go down and just kind of see what they're doing.
Oh, thanks.
Like I said, I send my emails out, and I'm waiting for responses. I'm waiting, but everyone's busy right now, so I understand. That's why sometimes it's just better to go in person. Laurie?
Just a couple of things. As far as Vintage Cafe goes, they have a brand new manager there. His name is Adrian. He goes by AD. Super nice guy and has tons of ideas. I think you'll really enjoy talking with him, Stephanie. He would like to eventually, when the Opera House, which hopefully will be opening up soon, in State Theater, have a after coffee dessert kind of thing, which kind of like you do in New York, you go for cheesecake after your Broadway show. He'd like to do something like that, or even extend his hours for the afternoon to just do ice cream in the afternoon, because they sell ice cream, but most people don't eat ice cream in the morning. They do it in the afternoon or evening. Right. So again, like Stephanie said, very short with help, but he's thinking maybe he could do ice cream. So you probably enjoy talking with him. And just on Stephanie's point, I love that you're getting together with the restaurants. Stephanie is all about the city doing better, not McGregor's. Not that she doesn't want McGregor's to do better. She works really well with all the restaurants. And one of the stories I have, when the brewery was opening, he has decided he wants to do an extended storefront for First Fridays and for the, jazz and blues and all. And he had a lot of questions on, the barriers and the permits. And I said, well, call Stephanie. She knows her stuff. She's been doing it for a while. She'll answer any questions. He says, I can't call her. She's my competition. She's not going to appreciate that. I said, trust me, call Stephanie. And that's exactly how she is. She's all about everybody succeeding. And by her having these restaurant meetings, she's just going to spread that to everybody. And I think most of the restaurants are that way anyway, but her enthusiasm, I think, will spread throughout them. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Way to go, Stephanie.
They got their barricades yesterday too.
Yeah, she actually gave them some of her old barricades even. So yeah.
At a discounted price, very discounted. So that's all I have for the.
Okay. Anybody have anything else for Stephanie? All right, then retail is currently not filled. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up about retail? First-hand reports or anything?
First-hand report, Gossip Girls is awesome. Any of the girls on here, their store is amazing. I know Stephanie goes there too. Their clothes are really inexpensive. She's doing very well. She's very happy. The wedding store across from them, they do flowers as well. I don't know if people know that, but They're not expensive and they're beautiful. It's not just wedding stuff in there. So some of these new stores, definitely go in and check them out. I think you'd be surprised at what they have.
Okay. Anything else for retail?
We do have one more store coming. I don't know if anyone's heard. It's going at the end of Lodge Lane and Congress, the little house there. They're actually doing a ribbon cutting on First Fridays to open. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry, but it's basically a wood DIY kind of store. So that's coming in June. So we keep opening up. We're not closing. We keep adding. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Larry, I believe that business is called Forever Farmhouse Finds.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. And we don't have anybody here from from museums either. Does anybody have anything they want to add in on that regard?
I can just state that if you have not seen the Underground Railroad exhibit, it's amazing. Definitely stop by. If you're a Haverty Grace resident, it's free on Sundays. It's amazing. They've done a wonderful job. And I actually met with Bambi and Bruce about a week ago. They were not part of the Waterfront Festival last year. They're very excited about being part of it this year and had lots of really cool ideas. So they are going to be part of the Waterfront, which makes sense because they are a maritime museum. So I think, again, everybody working together, and I think that festival is going to be amazing this year. So.
You know, I forgot to mention, you just reminded me of the Waterfront Festival. With the Waterfront Festival, Hutchins Park, that location is going to be, it's called Seafood Cove. And my thought is behind it is that we're going to try and revitalize the feel of the old seafood festival. So I've reached out to all the restaurants in town to see if they wanted to set up a stand, and it would be a non-ticketed event, of course, and you could just go around and sample different offerings that the local restaurants have. I am going to expand it out just in case the restaurants in town do not have the manpower of it. But so far, everyone seems to be pretty excited. I know Tidewater was real excited about signing on for that too. So if you know anybody that would like to come out and set up a table and cook for the Seafood Cove, I would love it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So.
And on that same note, the Waterfront Festival, when Stephanie said it's called Seafood Cove, Bambi has kind of tagged each of the locations as a cove. So the Lock House is going to be Pirate Cove, and they're bringing back the Pirate Festival at the Lock House as part of the Waterfront Festival. They're going to the Opera House. It's their anniversary weekend, so they're going to have something on the front grounds that we just met with Rebecca. So that'll be part of the Waterfront Festival. The Moore Family Homestead is also going to have something there, pony rides and stuff like that. That's part of the Waterfront Festival, as well as Concord Point Park. So literally it's a festival that's going to take place throughout the entire town, which will be amazing having the trolleys in play for that. I'll update that as the festival gets updated.
Okay, so we go move on to public arts, the Arts Commission, Bill.
Okay, hello, everyone. Lori mentioned events at the Opera House, and we have a board meeting this Thursday. Hopefully, I'm really hoping help push for the opening up of that facility. I know it's a city-owned building, so I know it'll be subject to COVID restrictions with the city, perhaps. So,
the city has dropped all restrictions. There's no restrictions at any city buildings at this point.
Well, the only restriction then would be whatever the board might say. So hopefully we're going to open up and start seeing shows back there. Of course, I know the city started their Thursday night concert series. I was very happy to be able to attend the one at the State Theater to relive the Beatles. Laurie, you were there. Dave was there. It was a great time. It was good to see people be able to enjoy themselves again indoors, and even had a little dancing going on up front of the stage. So that was really refreshing to see, and look forward to more shows there in the future. On the public arts side, this Thursday, I'm meeting with Joe Stebbing, who is the artist that's carving the birds I talked about that are going to be set atop the pier pilings down at the lighthouse pier. And hopefully we're gonna get that. We'll have an MOU established with the city at that point, meeting with Patrick also. And then, so I hope to see those before, I'd say the artists already start carving those. So it's really about the installation. And hopefully we'll see that in time for the Waterfront Festival as well to be displayed. Of course, the Ernest Burke statue unveiling was already mentioned on June 26th. You probably noticed there's a new mural done by Sean Fortin that's on the Asher building there on Market Street. Pretty much you can't avoid seeing it when you come down Market going south. I don't know if I mentioned the wall art. I think it was done by the Bear Designs on Green Street, I think last time. I just will mention again, in case you haven't seen that, it's right on the tobacco shop there on Green Street. I don't know if I mentioned the, and I know it's been there for a little while, but the metal sculpture of the geese down at the Decoy Museum, beautiful piece. Did a nice installation on that and a plaque that describes the artist. Jimmy O is hired by the city to do the back of the water plant as a mural. So look forward to seeing that as some of our uglier public buildings get decorated. And let's see, also we had a meeting, the Public Art Committee had a meeting with the A&E Committee. Both those committees fall under the Heavy Grace Arts Collective to talk about what they're titling their benchmark program. So downtown city benches. We are going to jury in artists to paint those benches, to decorate them. So it won't be haphazard and it won't be amateurish or anything. We are going to, we met with them. They are wanting the Public Art Committee to jury and the artist to judge the art and bring it in properly and whatnot. So looking forward to seeing that program, and that will help identify the A&E district as well. Of course, already talked about Jazz and Blues Fest. The one thing you should know, that's not all just jazz. You know, we have some blues with the Nighthawks is a very popular band. Even Saturday morning down at the Pennington stage, there's even a Cajun band playing. So I'm looking forward to seeing that because I like that kind of music too. Let's see, what else have I not mentioned? Oh,
Sidewalk stickers.
Yes, well, the A&E, yes. If you'll notice that on some of the sidewalks downtown, you'll see the Arts Entertainment District logo. So those stickers have been placed in there. They look great. And that, again, it helps reinforce the idea, or not the idea, the reality that we do have an active Arts and Entertainment District here in Heavy Grace. There's a new show will be opening at the Arts by the Bay Gallery in June. I should have the exact date. I'm sorry I don't, but I know it's in mid-June when that will be opening. There's 5 shows there a year, and this will be a new one. Oh yeah, the Waterfront Festival, and a lot of talk about that and how many different opportunities the tourists will be there. We're looking right now in the early stages of collaborating on the Chalk Art Festival. I might have mentioned that last time, and that would be in the downtown area, an area where there would be chalk art displayed. And again, the whole idea of this program is to have artists sponsored by restaurants or businesses, probably to the tune of something like around $200 or $300 an artist, but to have them come in and put their art on the sidewalk. We're looking at working with Bambi on having that part of the Waterfront Festival. If you've ever been down to Little Italy and seen the Montanari Chalk Art Festival down in Baltimore, that's kind of the model we're looking at. So we're working on the details of that now, and hopefully we'll be able to announce that before too long. And that, again, that would be juried artists as well. Artists would submit their designs that they want to do as chalk on the sidewalk, and we would, jury those in.
Where are you thinking to do the drawing? Like downtown area or down by the park?
Downtown. We're not married to that idea yet, but I was just thinking that would be a good place for it. just obviously have to find, and it can be, you know, especially if the street is, are the streets closed downtown for Waterfront at all? They're not. Okay.
That's not true. Down by, I think the food trucks down right by the lighthouse. That would be the only area, but not in town. No.
Right. Well, it might be something where we, you know, petition the city to get have one block, maybe an off block or something done, closed just for that.
Or something.
But again, it's in the early stage. I know we need, what is it? 90 days? Might be inside of that now.
45.
45. Okay. Well, we'll be discussing that soon. But you need an area where they all can be contained together. Any questions? Any additions? Because I don't get to cover everything, I know. There's a lot going on in public art.
Hey, Bill, if you could, I've been down several times to take photos of that new mural, but there's always cars parked in front of it. So if you happen to get some really nice photos, or if you know, or even Lori, if you know somebody has some nice photos of that mural, we want to add it to the mural trail that we have on our website. So I'll need artist name with the spelling and, you know, a photo and maybe a little description about what it depicts.
Are you talking about Sean's or which one?
Yeah, Sean's.
Sean Fulton's.
Yep.
The Asher property.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to be going out. I have to take some pictures of some new public art anyway for the destination guide. So maybe I'll be able to get some. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bill. You're always reporting on lots of things, and that's a good thing. Outdoor recreation, Jeff?
Previously I've been talking about people getting boats ready. They are still doing so. Memorial Day weekend seems to be the break-even point, or the point when people are saying, okay, I'm done working, I'm going to go use the boat now. Although they are using them a bunch. We're starting to see boats heading down to Fishing Battery and the Sand Islands already. Water's still kind of cold, but they're going. We're thinking now with Baltimore canceling their 4th of July fireworks, and on social media, everybody that's talking about an alternative, Upper Chesapeake boaters, Haverty Grace is the one that comes up when you look at comments. It's like 10-1 when people are making suggestions of where else can we go for the Upper Chesapeake boaters. So we're figuring that the town's going to be pretty busy with boats that weekend, specifically for the fireworks, because the holiday is Monday. It's the day after the fireworks. So that always works well for all the marinas being full of boats. Having said that, I talked to Steve Young right before I came onto the meeting, and he, like us, Tidings Yacht Base and like Tidewater Marina, have 0 reservations for 4th of July weekend right now. We're expecting we're going to get busy. The rest of the summer, we have what we would call our normal amount of reservations, what we had before things were kind of shut down last summer. I probably have right now, I was just looking at on Monday, I've got probably 10 groups between now and I guess the first one is coming in sometime mid-June. And then the last one is booked for Saturday, September 11th. So we've got groups coming in, and these groups are anywhere from 7 or 8 boats up to, I have 2 of them that are 17 plus boats coming in at one shot. So that's more along the lines of where we usually are before last summer. We started to see a rise in that last fall. People were starting to book cruises. So we're seeing more and more, we're seeing groups coming in, but it's just odd that we don't have anything for the 4th of July yet. So we're expecting that's going to start ramping up here pretty soon, especially now that Baltimore's made their announcement. And Philadelphia, I think, is also considering it. That won't have that big of an effect on us, I don't think, but it might bring some more land traffic into town for that, if the town stays with doing it, which I assume they are, since we've already had 1 fireworks display this year. The youth sailing camp is starting up here soon. We've got a meeting tonight, and I'll have better numbers on the bookings for that. The last time that I heard, we were up to, I believe the number was like 130 out of 160, 170 slots we're trying to fill. And we're figuring that we'll probably fill those up last minute. So it looks like it'll be a full camp. The COVID restrictions have changed now, but we're not really changing much about what we're doing. We've got a pretty good program set up where we're teaching groups of pods or kids in pods. So they're staying with the same group, one person, one boat. We went out and bought some more boats to be able to do that. And I think the start date for that is the 21st of June. I'm not 100% sure of that. It's usually we start right after Father's Day. And that's all I got right now.
Any questions for Jeff?
I have a comment for Jeff. When you're talking about the July 4th celebration, something else that has just come up, it was just approved, was Have a Great Spirit of America Festival, which is going to be July 3rd from 12 to 5. So we do have another event that will take place on that weekend. So it's another festival coming into the town that will start on Saturday from 12 to 5.
So that weekend, then we have First Fridays. There's a Saturday thing, and then Sunday, all the stuff going on Sunday. Yeah, I expect that we'll be rocking then. All the marinas should end up being full. And Steve and I were both we were kind of shocked that we don't have anything booked yet for that weekend, but I'm sure it'll end up coming. And that's something worth pointing out. We've had a few transients that have come in recently. It gets started late, but the last one that came in was here for 2 nights, and they're loopers, which to people that aren't familiar with the boating terms, a looper is someone who is doing, they call it the Great Loop. Basically, you go up the East Coast and you come down the Mississippi River. You basically circumnavigate the East Coast of the United States. And these folks could not say enough about Havre de Grace. Having stayed here, they came in Saturday, they were here Saturday, Sunday, and they left Monday afternoon. And we're getting that out of everybody that comes to town. So doing cool things in town or having cool things for people to do really that's what we need to keep people coming in to the town via the water. I mean, the water is just another gateway for people to enter the town. So that's all looking up now. COVID hasn't really slowed that down anymore. We seem like things are rolling right along now for that.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Next is tour operators with Kathy.
Hi, everybody. Well, we have 10 new Lafayette Trail markers. This is what they look like. So I know the city was installing them the other day, and I believe they're all in place. And I just wanted to remind everybody, and Lori, I stopped by the visitor center and talked to what's that guy who used to run Heron Harbor? Heron. What's his name? Steve. And he didn't know anything about this. So I introduced him to this brochure and other Historic Preservation Commission brochures. And he said, hey, I might want to buy one of these. So I do think that if this was promoted a little more, and the other thing I thought about marking the Lafayette Trail is those stickers that the A&E district put down. I mean, we could have one made just like this. And we could get the trail marked faster that way, because these are $400 a piece, these bronze medallions.
That's a good idea. You could put the stickers down and then replace them with medallions as they're sold. Yeah,
and it just would be a way to, because we want the trail to be pretty much continuously marked, not just one every few blocks, So anyway, that was just something I was thinking of. I might talk to, I guess Big House Signs did those, Bill? Did those stickers?
I do not know who the vendor was.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I know Charlie Heiner's the one that went around putting them down, so he will probably.
Yeah. So, but that's all I have to say about trails, is just that we finally got 10 new markers. Thank you.
Okay. Kathy's not here for the Chamber of Commerce. Ron's not here for lodging. I have a little bit of familiarity with half of the lodging industry in Havre de Grace. And I know that at the Spencer Silver Mansion anyway, the business is really starting to pick up again. Still not quite back to normal, but it's getting there. She's starting to have weekday business again, and things are going well. She just recently remodeled a couple of the bathrooms, so the place is looking better than it has in years, and I think that'll help her in the long run as well. So.
And she was the WHGM Business of the Month.
She got free advertising from the local radio station, which actually isn't all that local. I mean, they centered here in Havre de Grace, but they also broadcast over a station in Elkton and a station in Bel Air. So actually, they cover into Delaware and Pennsylvania as well. So it's a good radio station to spread the word about things here in Havre de Grace to an area of people far bigger than just the Havre de Grace community. So there's that, which I definitely think having the radio station in town has helped us a lot in a lot of ways. So, which has nothing to do with lodging, but just a bit of soapbox chatter. So, and the final report would be visit Hartford from Greg.
Yeah, thank you. Couple things. One thing that just occurred was Scavaganza, which was a Boys and Girls Club scavenger hunt across the county. They used an app, and we had many stops in Havre de Grace. And not only did they like geo check in with either a photo or GPS, but also there was purchases. If they made a purchase, they got extra credit. And I know several of the stores, retail and restaurants were on that. So hopefully that helped over Mother's Day weekend. That was this weekend. This weekend is the Hartford Stream Poker Run. It's going out of the park down there. It's covering, I think, 5 different parks in the area. So there'll be some people downtown again for that. I have a writer coming in next week. We're sharing her with Cecil County. She's coming into Havre de Grace on Thursday. She's staying at the Vandiver. I did stop in Stephanie. We bought a gift certificate for her dinner at McGregor's. So that's happening. And then I got her a lunch at Coakley's. So instead of, as we've done in the past, juggling credit cards and trying to figure out what I just bought gift certificates, and we'll just give her gift certificates. It might make it easier for all of us.
Thank you. Suggest her to make a reservation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been nuts. So
okay.
I want to make sure that everything's perfect.
Got it. You got it.
Awesome. Thank you.
We've also been heavily promoting the Jazz and Blues Fest on various radio stations and social media and up into Pennsylvania and Delaware. So hopefully that will help that. We did add the new barn quilt that went up in Havre de Grace. We added it to the barn quilt trail. So that is up and on that trail on our website. So that looks very nice. It's a kind of a unique installation because they spread the boards out so they could get some ventilation through the window, which was kind of fun. But it looks great. We did get some photos and have that up and running. Again, I need the new photos for that mural to add to the mural trail. And I want to remind everybody, and Stephanie, if you can help spread the word and others, that we do have a special offers on our website so if anybody has any deals that they're doing, and quite honestly, we have some restaurants and stores that just post up their normal, whatever their special is on Thursdays, and they just post it. And so people find it. So hopefully that helps drive some traffic. Also, I encourage all of you to continue to use our events calendar. Stephanie, I think the putt pub crawl would be great on the events calendar, and so anything like that we can do would be very helpful. So just kind of help promote.
Thank you. I think that would be perfect, actually.
Thank you. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. So is there any new business? Anybody we've talked about so many ideas and things. I don't know that we have any left to talk about, but is there any new business somebody would like to bring up or? Okay, nothing going. So our next meeting will be June 16th. So that's the third Wednesday in June. And thanks everybody for being a part of this meeting, and we'll see you then.
Last comment, talk to the council president. He's going to reach out to the mayor of the administration to get an answer on the restaurants and the barricades.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
So motion to adjourn.
Here.
Second, all in favor?
Bye.
Very good.
Thanks, everybody.